What's going on, everybody? My name is Justin Godsey for Justin Godsey TV. Thank you so much for checking out tonight's video. Tonight, guys, we're here continuing on with my discussions about CM Punk going over to the UFC following his long-awaited arrival. Everybody was expecting CM Punk to go to the UFC, hopefully, or any sort of mixed martial arts promotion. He ends up making this big announcement. The UFC's big announcement is that CM Punk is going to the UFC, and I've been waiting for this to happen. My last video, it came as a shock to me that it will be his first stop will be the UFC. He has now left the world of professional wrestling and now is on to his new desire, his new true love, and that is mixed martial arts competition. Now, in my last video, I pretty much went through the entire video just discussing the whole, the whole contract thing, my personal thoughts and everything, and, some fighters that are willing to take the fight against CM Punk in his first fight. Now, Punk is not officially, going to be fighting in 2014. That's not going to happen. He's going to be fighting at some point in 2015. I would like to say he should hopefully find a camp by, within the next 2 weeks. Hopefully within the next 2 weeks. So that he can, start rolling with that team and get ready for his first fight in 2015. I want him to fight by August of 2015. It's going to be a fight that everybody's going to end up seeing because we all love CM Punk. I personally, he's my favorite wrestler of all time. Just watching him come over to mixed martial arts competition, it's going to be something very, very interesting. So when you go in and look at some options for CM Punk going into his first UFC fight, off the bat, there was a lot of guys, like I mentioned in my last video, Al Iaquinta, Ross Pearson, Michael Bisping. But there are a couple of independent guys as well who are not fighting at those big, big name promotions like ONE FC or Bellator. There are a couple of guys on the independent promotion market that are willing to take a fight, and the biggest one is Jason David Frank, known as Tommy from the Power Rangers. Now, I know a lot about the Power Rangers growing up watching them, and I am very familiar with Jason David Frank, and he has been doing the karate. He's been doing a lot of like Muay Thai stuff. It's just he is just working his ass off. At the age of 41 right now, and he's still rolling. He's doing a lot of fan stuff with the Power Rangers, with the Power Ranger fans and everything. But He's made an offer to fight CM Punk in his first fight inside the UFC octagon. Now, CM Punk does not want to fight on a free, on a free card. He's going to be fighting on a pay-per-view, so that's an immediate main card fight. But can Jason David Frank go, and really debate and get himself into the discussions of CM Punk? Because the UFC has stated that they're not going to throw CM Punk into the Sharks. That is the right thing to go. CM Punk does not even have an amateur fight or a professional fight on his belt. He's 0-0, doesn't have a single. I have not seen anything of CM Punk fighting at any point, if it's a professional fight or an amateur fight, whatever the case may be. We have not seen CM Punk do that. With this happening, they have got to find someone, likely one of those, rising, very, low-level named mixed martial arts fighter that could be on the rise within the UFC, and that's where I can honestly see CM Punk starting. But when you really look at it, Jason David Frank, yes, he has had 4 fights on his resume when it pertains to his amateur in his professional fight career. He's been a big name in the amateur area of mixed martial arts. He's 3-0 in amateur fights. The biggest name that he has defeated is Carlos Horn at UWC 8 back in 2010, in May in 2010, where he submitted him within the first round. 24 seconds into the first round, he defeated Carlos Horn, and that was a heavyweight fight. And Carlos Horn was just outmatched Jason David Frank if you look at them side by side. And Jason David Frank has pulled off the unthinkable. He has finished off his amateur career with a 3-0 record. Decided to go pro in August of that same year in 2010. He went over to TCF. I think that's going to be a Puerto Rican based. I think is it a Puerto Rican based mixed martial arts promotion? I don't know, but he took on Jose Roberto Vasquez at TCF 1. And this is going to, and he defeated him via a first round submission, via a rear naked choke. He's a really submission based wrestler because he submitted 3 of his 4 opponents. He knocked out Chris Roth at USACA, the United States Amateur Combat Association, back in February of 2010. So 2010 was a really busy year for Jason David Frank, even though he does have a little bit more experience inside the octagon than CM Punk. I think it's going to be an excellent matchup. But seeing David Frank coming over to the UFC, it's going to be a long shot because the UFC has got to build interest in seeing what Jason David Frank has been doing. Jason David Frank has not since gone into an octagon since. Yes, he's physically fit. The only thing that we've been knowing about Jason David Frank is that he's going around like Comic Cons and fan stuff for the Power Rangers and stuff. That's the only thing that we have seen of Jason David Frank recently. CM Punk recently, he left the company back in January, so CM Punk has a track record of seeing what he can do. He's been training with Henry Gracie down in Florida. He's been doing a lot of this other stuff. So is Jason David Frank, but he's not I think he's like a California-based or a Texas-based wrestler or fighter. But it's still an open idea. I like the idea of seeing Jason David Frank versus CM Punk. I think that can be a fight that can, be right in the middle of a main event, of a main card fight card. So that's going to be, something that you guys want to look out for. I think it's going to be an excellent. Jason David Frank, yes, he does have, a little bit more experience than CM Punk, but CM Punk can really give Jason David Frank a run for his money, and so can Jason David Frank give CM Punk a run for his money. So I think it's going to be a match made in heaven. I would love to see this go down. My name is Justin Godsey for Justin Godsey TV. Make sure you guys leave your comments down below about this. Do you think that it's going to be a right thing to do? Jason David Frank and CM Punk are around those same weight class, 214 pounds each. So let me hear your guys' opinion about this. My name is Justin Godsey for Justin Godsey TV. Catch you guys.